Good afternoon and welcome to Rake Lane Cemetery in Liverpool. Right, today we are visiting a person who was connected with the Titanic. Now recently I did a video on the captain of Carpathia that rescued all the passengers that had got into lifeboats. 700 and something he saved. I think 706 people he saved. Right, in today's video I'm going to visit the final resting place of the captain who was there but didn't save anyone from the Titanic. Captain Stanley Lord. Stanley Lord was the captain of the Californian. Now his ship was actually within sight of the Titanic when she struck the iceberg. When she was firing off her flares, the captain thought it was signal flares, so didn't do anything about it. And because they only had one wireless operator and he went to bed, they couldn't contact the Titanic to find out why it was firing flares. But anyway, I will spin you around. The weather's looking decidedly awful, so I put my coat on this time. I'll spin you around. I'll show you around this very oldie-worldy cemetery, this one. This, by the way, is a viewer's suggestion, this grave I visited. He told me this cemetery and gave me the names of the people, and I researched them, and I'm here today. Anyway, I shall spin you around, show you around this oldie-worldy cemetery, while I tell you a little bit about Captain Stanley Lord.
Stanley Philip Lord was born on the 13th of September 1877 in Bolton, Lancashire. He began his training at sea when he was 13 in March 1891. He later obtained his second mate's certificate of competency. In February 1901, at the age of 23, he obtained his master's certificate, and 3 months later obtained his extra master's certificate. He entered the service of the West India and Pacific Steam Navigation Company in 1897. The company was taken over by the Leyland Line in 1900, but Lord continued service with the new company and was rewarded with his first command in 1906. He was then given command of the SS Californian in 1911. On 5th of April 1912, Lord commanded the liner SS Californian on a voyage from London to Boston, Massachusetts, USA. On the night of Sunday the 14th of April, he saw ice ahead while on the bridge of his vessel, personally ordering hard a port in order to effect a starboard turn while cutting the engines. His vessel came to rest at the edge of an impenetrable ice field that seemed to have stretched at least 30 miles north to south, and which other shipping had warned about for days. As it was Lord's first experience of field ice, he elected to maintain minimal steam and wait for daylight. It was 10:21 p.m. As a precaution for other shipping, he ordered his wireless operator to send out the message that his vessel was stopped and surrounded by ice. The ship's sole wireless operator, Cyril Evans, when seeing a ship in the distance, tapped out the message, "I say, old man, we are stopped and surrounded by ice." The wireless operator from the other ship, Jack Phillips, responded angrily with the message, "Keep out, shut up, I am working Cape Race." This ship was the Titanic. Earlier in the day, the wireless equipment aboard Titanic had broken down, and Phillips, along with his second wireless operator, Harold Bride, had spent the better part of the day trying to repair it. Now they were swamped with outgoing messages that had piled up during the day, and Phillips was exhausted after such a long day. Evans listened in for a while longer as Phillips sent routine traffic through Cape Race relaying station before finally turning in for bed at around 11:30 p.m. Over the course of the night, officers and seamen on the deck of the Californian witnessed 8 white rockets fired into the air over his strange ship off in the distance. Fatigued after 17 hours on duty, Captain Stanley Lord was awakened twice during the night and told about the rockets, to which he replied that they may be company rockets, to help ships identify themselves to liners of the same company. Meanwhile, on the Titanic, for an hour after the collision, no other ships were noticed until the lights of a ship were seen in the distance. Fourth Officer Joseph Boxall and Quartermaster Rowe tried in vain to contact the strange ship by Morse lamp. Nobody on the deck of the Californian saw these signals, however. They had also tried to signal but were unable to get a response. Throughout the night, no one on board the Californian attempted to wake their wireless operator and ask him to contact the ship to ask why they were firing rockets until 5:30 AM. By then, however, it was too late. The Titanic had gone down at 2:20 AM. When she slipped beneath the waves, the sudden disappearance of the lights was interpreted by the Californian's crew to mean she had simply steamed away. On the morning of 15th of April 1912, Captain Lord was notified that Titanic had gone down early that morning. At 8:45 AM, the Californian pulled up alongside the Carpathia and stayed behind to search for additional bodies after Carpathia steamed toward New York. While Lord was never tried or convicted of any offence, he was still viewed publicly as a pariah after the Titanic disaster. His attempts to fight for his exoneration gained him nothing, and the events of the night of the 14th and 15th of April 1912 would haunt him for the rest of his life. He was dismissed by the Leyland Line in August 1912. Towards the end of 1912, Lord was approached by John Latter, owner of the Nitrate Producers Steamship Company, who had heard of his plight. He was offered renewed command and entered the company's service in February 1913. He served at sea throughout the First World War and continued to command vessels for Lawther Latter until poor eyesight forced his retirement in March 1927. More than 30 years later, he became aware that a film entitled A Night to Remember apparently gave great prominence to the allegation that the Californian stood by in close proximity to the sinking Titanic. Mr. Lord called on the Mercantile Marine Service Association, to which he had continued to pay annual duties without a break since 1897, to seek their assistance. A vigorous campaign emphasising the former master's case was then perused across all media in the years that followed. In 1957, Captain Lord's wife Mabel (nee Tutton) died, and he began to go into decline. The couple had been blessed with one son, Stanley Tutton Lord, who passed away in 1994. Captain Stanley Lord passed away on the 24th of January 1962, aged 84, almost half a century after the sinking of the Titanic. He was laid to rest at Rake Lane Cemetery in Wallasey, which is where we are today.
Right, well that's all the information I can get on Stanley Lord. His final resting place is just over here to my right, so I'll spin you around and we'll go and have a look at it together. Alright. Right, it's just up here. I knew exactly, I had a picture of it from Find a Grave, so it's quite an easy one to find. It's the only one of its type here. And it's this big tall grey one here, with a gold cross on it. This is the final resting place of Stanley Lord. To the very dear memory of Mabel Henrietta Tutton, beloved wife of Stanley Lord, 27th of July 1957. Also the above Stanley Lord. Oh, that's a bit unusual. If someone's actually scrubbed that. Also the above Stanley Lord, 24th of January 1962. Also Stanley Tutton Lord, dear son of the above, 1st of December 1994. I wonder if that's been scraped out because of him not rescuing people from the Titanic. Stranger things have happened. Oh, blimey, nearly falling onto someone else's grave. Oop. Anyway, that is the final resting place of Stanley Lord. Well, that was the final resting place of Stanley Lord. Now I reckon it has been vandalised. I've seen and heard of other graves that have been vandalised because of what people have done in their lives or hadn't done. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then leave me a thumbs up. And if you like the content, maybe consider subscribing, and if you do subscribe, don't forget to hit that notification bell. That way you will be notified whenever I upload a new video. Anyway, I've got to do another grave now because there's another one I've got to visit in this cemetery. So anyway, that's me, Darren, from Rake Lane Cemetery in Liverpool. I'll see you on the next one. So bye bye for now.